So often youth are sidelined and forgotten because youth can't vote. And we are impacted by every policy decision, especially with climate change. I was so upset that generations before me hadn't done something to fight this issue, and starting in my early teen years, I realized there's no time left for us, and it's up to our generation to make this difference and make this impact.
Climate change has been a looming threat for decades, and despite efforts to address the problem, there is still a lot of work to be done. Young people across the country are taking matters into their own hands and fighting to hold legislators accountable. In February of this year, 13 Virginia residents, ranging in age from 10 to 19, sued their state in a case called Layla H versus the Commonwealth of Virginia. The residents argue that by providing permits for fossil fuel infrastructure, historically and throughout the present day, the state has violated their constitutional rights and put their health at risk. On September 16th, the case was dismissed by Richmond Circuit Court Judge Clarence N. Jenkins. The plaintiffs plan to appeal the decision. Their attorney is concerned about the precedents the judge's ruling will have in other lawsuits holding government policy accountable. Claudia Sachs was one of the plaintiffs in the lawsuits. She feels it would be unsafe for her to bring children into the world in the future because they might experience the worst potential effects of the climate crisis. Though many of the plaintiffs in the case are too young to vote, they are finding other ways to help make the world a better, more livable place for future generations.
I think climate change has always been a feature of my life, and so many of my childhood memories are impacted by climate change and its increasing prevalence with every passing year and decade. I have so many memories of summers that used to be so pleasant and so nice becoming painfully hot, becoming dangerous, and winters over time becoming a lot less cold and a lot less snow and fewer snow days. And I felt so deeply helpless because I was so young, I couldn't vote, I couldn't do anything, and I had no control over where I lived or how I lived my life or the places I went because I was a child. Layla H v. Commonwealth is a lawsuit brought by 13 plaintiffs, including me, represented by our Children's Trust. And we are alleging that the Commonwealth is violating our constitutional rights to life, liberty, and property by permitting fossil fuel infrastructure. Under the public trust doctrine, Virginia cannot substantially impair our key natural resources like lands, water, and the atmosphere. And we are alleging that the Commonwealth is by permitting fossil fuel infrastructure. We really hope to win this lawsuit and hold the Commonwealth accountable for its actions of permitting fossil fuel infrastructure and violating our constitutional rights. And by winning this lawsuit, we could start to guarantee a more safe future for us and for our future generations. Our generation is really scared. We are paranoid, we are anxious, we are trying to maintain hope, but sometimes hopeless as well, because these issues are so present in our lives. We feel them every day, and it is deeply frustrating that there have been so many generations before us who had this science, who knew this science, who could prove this science, and they still passed it on and passed it on and passed it on. And with every passing year, our capacity to limit the impacts of climate change just gets smaller and smaller. And so many states, so many countries make all these promises for climate change. We're gonna do this by 2030. We're gonna do this by 2040, 2050. Well, I wanna tell them that in 2030, I'll be 27 years old. I'll just be beginning, I'll just be trying to get out into the world. So it really matters to me, the choices that they make right now. Many of our plaintiffs are under the age of 18 and can't vote and are deeply impacted by every legislative and judicial decision. And it's so scary that change hasn't come sooner. Climate change has had an impact on so many parts of my life I can barely begin to count. But especially recently, I noticed it in my later high school years when I worked at a restaurant and when I worked as a camp counselor. I worked as a counselor at a nature outdoor summer camp. And I love this camp more than anything. I grew up at this camp. I've given so much to this camp, and all I wanted to do was bring these kids outdoors and show them Virginia's beautiful nature. And I wasn't able to for so many summers because it was so hot and there were so many heat waves that it was dangerous for us to take these kids outside. And it was just heartbreaking for me to see kids unable to experience Virginia's nature and unable to just go outside and run in the grass. And it's just another example of how climate change is here right now, and especially for younger kids who are 5, 6, and 7. They feel this, and they feel it in their bones as they're trying to play on the playground. I can't always put words to how I'm feeling, and music is always the answer, whether it's singing or playing guitar or playing piano. I feel like I have this avenue that lets me speak in a time when it can be really scary to have all these emotions and all of these fears.
Remember? Practice.
Did you tune it? I wrote my climate change song called Future of Humanity in 2018 when I was a sophomore in high school. And I had signed up to go to a climate strike in Richmond, and it was my first one at the Capitol building. And I was so excited, and I wanted to contribute to this movement, but there were so many speakers and so many experts who knew the science, and I wanted to make sure they had their chance to speak. So I thought to myself, where is my voice? Where is my contribution going to be? And because I love music so much, I chose to write a song about climate change. Repeat after me for the words real quick. We have to fight.
We have to fight.
To save our earth.
To save our earth.
So we can be. The future of humanity.
The future of humanity.
Thankfully, my family and friends have been very supportive since I became a youth plaintiff in Layla v. Commonwealth. And I feel so lucky to have them by my side and to have the community of plaintiffs as a support system.
We will not be silent!
We will not be silent!
And I recognize that not every teen or child has that opportunity, and we need people, we need allies, we need adults, we need elders, we need other kids to join our fight, to join this movement, because we can't do it alone, and we need all these voices supporting us. There are a lot of steps to this lawsuit that are going to happen, especially after this case has been dismissed today, but I really hope and need it to be resolved as quickly as possible because we don't have time. We never had time, but right now it's 2022, and this problem is so real and so scary, so we don't have time to wait. We don't have time to jump through hoops and look for obstacles or deny the science, because the science is here and the future is here, and if we don't take action now, we will feel the consequences starting today, starting tomorrow, and for every decade to come.
The fight for government action against climate change is an ongoing battle, but these youth plaintiffs aren't the only ones who can make a difference. By electing candidates who are working to support and bring green initiatives to America, we can ensure that we all have access to a more habitable planet. Visit vote.org for voter registration and polling information. Make your mark by ensuring your voice is heard. The time is now.
The beaches of Miami will be gone by 2060. The canals of Venice, Italy